Hey, welcome back to Rob's Garage, where we maintain, repair, upgrade, and track the likes of Ferraris, BMWs, Mini Coopers, Land Rovers, Corvettes, and Japanese motorcycles. But it's not why we're here today. It's been a while since I did a video, and this one's going to be a little different. I've been traveling a lot, so I haven't had a lot of time to focus on making any YouTube content or even work on my cars. The BMW E92 M3, my track car, is still at the body shop getting repaired. I will have an update on that forthcoming pretty soon. We're hoping to get it on the track in time for Laguna Seca in August, but fingers crossed, still got a lot of work to do. A friend of mine introduced me to a documentary called Lionheart. If you haven't seen it, it's on HBO Max. Highly recommend it. I watched it the night I came back from Asia, and man, I really choked up. If you don't know, it's about Dan Wheldon, one of my favorite racing car drivers of all time. If you're not familiar with Dan Wheldon, he was a British racing car driver. He came to the United States and raced in the IndyCar series, was two-time Indy 500 champion, and won the series championship in 2005. He's also a 24-hour Daytona winner. He was tragically killed in 2011 at the season finale in Las Vegas after having recently been married and having two young children. He was tasked that year with only having a part-time ride, but he won the 500 that year. And he was challenged with coming from the back of the field in the season finale, and if he would win it, he was guaranteed a $5 million bonus, as well as $5 million to a lucky fan in the stands. This is the last autograph I got of Dan, and I keep it here in the garage as a memento to savor the memories with him. This hat, you'll see all these autographs on it. I actually got this signed by nearly every driver in the field at that race, as well as the great Mario Andretti. I think I'm missing 2 signatures on here. I spent a lot of time, I was fortunate enough to be in a capacity where I spent a lot of time with the drivers that season, and got a chance to get almost every one of their autographs, including Dan's, on this hat. And so it's something I'm always going to treasure because, you know, it was Dan's last race, and he was such a great human being, not just a great racing car driver. So I remember my best mate coming into town for that race, and my 8-year-old son at the time. We went and tailgated, spent a lot of time that weekend with the drivers, like I said, and you could sense that there was this eerie feeling among a lot of them that they knew it was going to be extremely dangerous. Kind of like the same feeling that I remember the Champ Car drivers experienced in 2001 at Texas Motor Speedway. I remember being around that race, which they ended up canceling because the G-forces around Texas Motor Speedway was such high banking. They were just so... With the Champ cars at the time, it was just so strong that the drivers are literally fainting, and so they had to cancel the race. It was a similar feeling I got from a lot of the drivers that weekend in 2011 at Las Vegas. Nevertheless, it was kind of an elephant in the room, and nobody didn't really speak publicly about it. So the race went on, and ended up resulting in the most horrific crash, I think, in modern motorsports history, at least that I'm aware of. So great documentary, highly recommend Lionheart, highly recommend you research Dan Wheldon for those of you who are not familiar with him. What a great human being, and it was a huge influence in my life. But one thing the documentary doesn't really capture is what happened after there was confirmation that he had deceased. Those of us in the stands waited around a long time to find out what was happening. Are they going to finish the race? Who's injured? Who's alive? And finally, when the news broke, they decided to do a tribute to Dan. It was a 5-lap salute that the remaining drivers did, and it was extremely touching. I'll tell you, there's not a lot of people that stayed around for it. There's not a lot of footage that's been shared publicly that I've anyway seen. So I've got some old footage here. It's not the greatest, but watch it. There was a lot of teary eyes in the stands that day.
Tough moment professionally, and I can tell you in looking at pit road, it is a tough moment personally for all involved, because it is not too overstated to say that Dan Wheldon was a friend, certainly to most people on this pit road, and that certainly means to the people that he had met, because he was one that when you met him, he made you feel important, he made you feel you knew him. And there are a lot of people here who will watch now the ceremony elapse and remember their friend and someone of which everyone inside this facility has a tremendous respect. The memory, the legacy, and the spirit of the Englishman Dan Wheldon.
For so many years, we come and we gather in these great race facilities. Once again, series officials, along with the drivers and team owners, announcing it after their meeting just about now a half hour ago that this event will not be completed. And instead, what we will remember here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in these final laps is Dan Wheldon and his brake career. To honor the two-time Indy 500-mile race winner, an improbable winner. This past May, when he took his former teammate Brian Herta to victory lane. As now all of the crew members begin the slow march back to their pit stalls and the very difficult task of breaking down all of their equipment, loading up, and turning their thoughts towards another season and a better day. You would love to think that there would be a time this would not be a possibility in racing.
Thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. A lot more content coming shortly once I get the track car rebuilt, and we'll see you on down the road.